Hey guys, welcome back to this week's episode of Weekly Hardware Recap. Today I'm going to keep this a little short, even though we do have a good amount of news this week, because I know nobody actually wants to watch a 20-minute video about the hardware this week. So we're going to start it off right now. The first thing is the Zeta 511 Moab M.2 heatsink. This is for 2280 M.2s. It is and it's about 1 centimeter tall, so 10 millimeters tall. It has a 2mm thick base plate and some fins, and then on top it's got an adjustable RGB thing with some, just some cool designs. I like it, and I think it's better than some of the things we've seen from like Zeta with the fan. That looks weird. Anyways, next thing we have the HIS Radeon RX 590 IceQ X2. So this card, unlike a lot of the other cards, only has a single 8-pin power connector. This is kind of interesting because I thought like all the other ones have multiple, but I guess that's pretty typical of board partner designs. You see that a lot. But basically this one has a factory overclock of around 1550 megahertz, and so yeah, it's interesting and it looks a little bit old. I don't know. So this time we have 3 motherboards from Gigabyte. This is the first one. The next ones are not going to be right in the row. I'm just going to spread everything out. The other ones are much cooler. So stay to the end. Make sure you watch those. But anyways, this first one is a B450M motherboard. It is all red. It's got a pretty beefy heatsink on the VRM. It has one 16x slot, two 1x slots. It's got 4 SATA ports, one 8-pin power connector, and yes, very red. So no, it does not seem to have like a USB like 3.1 type C connector, but that's all right. It looks like an interesting mid-range board, and yeah, so it should be a pretty solid board if you're looking for a red themed B450M board, and so it should be priced under $100. Next thing we have is a graphics card from MSI. It's the RTX 2070 Aero ITX. This card is the smallest Turing card yet, and it is tiny, pretty much the same size as the card that I have. If you want to see that, you can watch some of my videos about my computer. There's a few on my channel. So essentially this is for just ITX cards. So it does not have the USB-C, but it doesn't have DVI either. So the clocks should be 1715 megahertz and should have about 175 watts, same as the reference thing, and pricing is unknown for that as at the moment. We also have a water cooler from Cougar. This is the Halo 240 and 360. This has 3 RGB fans, and it has sort of an addressable RGB ring around the pump and a flow meter, similar to the Endermax, but this design is much more blocky. It looks a little more plasticky and cheap in my opinion, but it still does remain the fill port and drain port on the radiator, which I do like, and I just used today, so you can expect a video on that coming later this week. But yeah, so it sort of retains the same sort of mounting mechanism with a plate and the 2 screws that mount onto the mounting plate, so it basically only one mounting plate for L sockets. But anyways, we don't have that much specs on it. It's 1600 to 1800 RPM for the fans. We don't have anything on the pump, but yeah, RGB. It looks all right, I would definitely recommend the Endermax over the Endermax one if you're looking for an RGB CPU cooler with a flow meter in the pump. Flow meter in the thing. The difference between this one is that the pump is actually built into the water block, so if you don't want the little pump hanging out, then this one's the one to go. But I don't know, it looks alright in my system. Like, I don't mind it. Anyways, enough about me, let's get on to the news. So now we got, the next one is a case from Silentium PC. You may not have heard of them. They have a few more budget option cases. This is definitely a budget option case. As you can see from the back, there is a PCIe slot missing. Yeah, that's how budgeted it is. The rest of them are presumably pop-out slots, although I can't really tell. Yes, they look a lot like pop-out slots. I'm pretty sure they are pop-out slots, but it does include some 5.25-inch drive bays up front, which is strange. It does have a power supply shroud and tempered glass, and the styling is pretty minimalistic. I can't say much about the quality, but it's going to be available for 40 euros. Don't really know what that is in US. I could look it up, but I want to keep this quick. Let's just keep going quick. We have, yeah, so we can get two 3.5 and two 2.5 bays. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. The airflow, like, we've only got cutouts on the bottom, probably because they're of the 5.25 bays, which I don't know if you can put a radio in front of there, but I'm not sure. So I would not count on that. We also have the Aorus X299 Master Motherboard. So if you didn't catch it, there's with the new Z390, Aorus has implemented a new naming scheme, which is less simple than the just 5 or like 3, 5, 7, 9, which I think is dumb. I like that. It was simple. You knew what you were getting. This, they have weird names like Pro, Master, Extreme, I think. It's a little weird. I don't like it. But, you know, this board does seem very solid. It has a very understated look. It's not sick with RGB like all of the other boards. Sorry, bumped the mic there. Like the X299 motor, it's having like all of the RGB in every single slot. So this is basically a replacement for the Gaming 7. We got still a fair amount of RGB zones, which I do like. I think that they're turning down the RGB. But anyways, this board has some pretty nice things like M.2 heatsinks on all three M.2 slots. We have a built-in I/O shield. We have two 8-pin power connectors. We have finned heatsinks on a 12-phase VRM. We've got USB Type-C 3.1 connector and pretty good built-in audio. So yeah, this does not have any onboard power buttons or anything like that, which is sad. And the LED postcode readout is not in the best position, but it does still look like a pretty solid board nonetheless. So if you're getting a board with the new 9th gen, not 9th gen, but you know, the refreshed Intel Extreme series processors, then this is an alright board. It also forgot to mention that it has external PCIe power and spacing for up to 4 graphics cards, although that's not supported. So yeah, on to the next one. We have the PowerColor RX 598 Gigabyte. So this is the Red Devil version, and it's pretty thick, almost 3 slots, I think. Yeah, so it has a boost clock of 1576, and which is 17% increase over the 580. No power consumption increase. We have, I cannot tell how many power connectors it has. Oh wait, no, it has 8 plus 6. So yeah, it's got a 6 plus 1 phase power design, and it has your very thick Red Devil sort of Red Devil cooling solution. And I don't know, I think at this point they could probably update the cooling solution to make it something a little more monochromatic, but maybe they're waiting for the next AMD release, because this isn't really a release, it's more a refresh. And the last graphics card that we have is the ASRock RX 590 Phantom Gaming. If you didn't already catch it, ASRock, they made a new jump into the graphics card market. I like ASRock, but I don't, whatever. But I don't know. Not sure about their graphics cards. I'm pretty sure they're high quality, but I don't love the design. Design's alright. This one's styled the same as their Phantom Gaming motherboards. As you could tell, that the Fatality motherboards were renamed to Phantom Gaming after the Phantom Gaming graphics cards were released, and now the Phantom Gaming has like a similar style with the gray and the red and white stripes. Well, like streaks, you know. Anyways, it looks alright. It has one 8-pin power connector, and it has 1500 clock speed boost. So yeah, it seems like a pretty solid card if you're looking for a 590, although not the most high end, definitely just a mid-range card. So yeah, last thing that we're going to go over today is the Gigabyte C46WU4, so another workstation board. So this is basically the workstation or server, well, not server, but you know, the like professional equivalent of the Z390 chipset. So this, I'm pretty sure it does support the Intel like gaming chips, but it also supports the Xeons on this architecture. So interesting to see if the Xeons are supported on just normal Z390 boards. I doubt it, but maybe. This board has 10 SATA ports, which is cool, but 2 of them are orange. Don't like that. It has an onboard USB, like a actual USB, like straight onboard the thing. I don't see a USB Type-C, sadly. But it does have fin heatsinks on the VRMs. It has an 8+4 power connectors, and it's a pretty nice looking board. For some reason it has a PCI slot, so you know, not sure about that. 2 M.2 slots. Yeah, it supports up to 128 gigabytes of ECC memory, though. That's the cool thing. 128 gigabytes. So yeah, that's about it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed, and come back next week for more tech news. I'll see you next time.